Dimp Digital Presents Idle Game Chat.
Hello, Apps here from Dimp Digital and welcome to Idle Game Chat. This is the weekly video games podcast where we give our impressions of the video games that you can play today and react to the latest news from the wonderful world of video games. We're here on your favourite podcast app and YouTube, absolutely free. This week I'm once again joined by the reigning Dimp Digital Gaming Quiz champion, and some are saying the uncrowned Grand Prix winner for 2020. It's Tom Adkins, not Adcock. How's it going?
I am achy today.
Achy?
Digging out trees like plants, fucking roots.
Yesterday?
Today.
Oh. She was out on the piss yesterday.
Yeah, is that I went out for a meal, shut up at 10, yep. Came back and the exit was in pitch black. I was like, cool, what is this like?
Oh yeah, of course.
10 o'clock curfew. Back home, I laid down, watched YouTube and went to bed.
Yeah. I went out with Bethesda yesterday, went to the pub at 12 and Benno, and didn't last. I had to go back anyway, but finished about 5 o'clock, and then Biff came back to mine for a couple of extra ones, and then went home about 8:30, and then woke up and I was like, cool, dirty old pipes at it again.
Where did you go? Exhibition?
No, went to the old Whacker.
Oh, Whacker.
So
cool.
Had a little pit stop in the White Hart, and then what I noticed is that all the people in the pubs, not all of them, most of the people in the pubs were the degenerate alcoholics, like that were in there. Like they're just not getting a bit of footfall from, I guess, the casual drinkers like ourselves. Yeah. But yeah, 10 o'clock, didn't have to rub against that curfew, but we'll see how that goes later on. But we've got some video games. Well, I keep saying we're going to talk about video games one week, and every week something happens. Yeah, I mean, it's been 3 or 4 weeks where I was like, right, we've got a list of games that we want to chat about, give our impressions of, but something just keeps happening. I think this is the last one now, because the dates of the new consoles are out, pre-orders are live, people have either got them or not got them or plan to get them. So until release date, you'd think nothing big is going to happen, and it seemed like, when Tuesday was going to roll around, nothing big was going to happen for Microsoft and the Xbox Series X or S, but we got some big news the day before that may have changed some people's minds, but we'll get into all that in a moment. But I will just remind people that you can support us financially if you want to. Patreon.com/Idle Game Chat is the place to go for that, and we'd appreciate your patronage if you wish to. If not, carry on listening, fine. So we had a little chat, and you weren't really sure about what you was going to be doing about this Series X. There was a bit of to-ing and fro-ing, umming and ahhing, and the 22nd was fast approaching, and I thought, well, he ain't going to get it, which is probably the sensible thing to do, like we've discussed. Having these PCs and these PS5s and these Series S's and X's, it's a bit of a waste having all of them, but we like to try and splurge out when we can. Then, Monday, I was sitting there just casually working, have a little check of Twitter, and I see Big Phil has been making waves yet again in the gaming world. Microsoft, Big Phil Spencer. Big Phil Spender.
Spender is his name.
$7.5 billion. So we always knock 5 off, don't we, for the UK? So probably 7 billion UK pounds if they translated it. That's a wrong translation, but for Zenimax, which is basically best known in this space for Bethesda and all the games and the studios and the properties underneath that umbrella. And to say I was shocked was an understatement. I could not believe what I was reading. I was like, good Lord, that is a power play. If
it's got to be the biggest in our time. I know when they bought Rare, didn't they? And Mojang was quite a big deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was like 2.5 billion.
Was it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'll look it up in a second. But
I wonder that bloke bought Jay-Z's old mansion.
Oh yeah, Notch.
Notch, that was him. Fucking hell. So yeah, so this is absolutely huge. And like you say, just
2.5
like
billion,
mind-boggling. How much?
2.5 billion. And he bought himself a $70 million mansion in Beverly Hills, supposedly outbidding Jay-Z and Beyonce. So
cool.
Anyway, what's Spender doing here then?
So that is just incredible. And that dropped that the day before pre-orders. So it's like, yeah. So people saying, oh, well, PlayStation have got the games. Look, there's literally nothing coming out for Xbox. All they've got is this Game Pass, which is an excellent service. And they go, well, we'll just buy out one of the biggest fucking companies in gaming.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, we'll chuck it all onto fucking Game Pass.
Yeah.
Every new game will be on Game Pass day one.
Yeah.
So think about that while you're pre-ordering.
Yeah.
And my little brain went, well.
Is that one of the reasons why you ended up diving into the Xbox?
See, I think we discussed this last time. I was still umming and ahhing of, it's pointless get one of these Xbox, get a PC. And that is still, I should do that really, but when I looked into it, I found out all my stats and that and worked out what was compatible, and basically there's fuck all compatible now.
Yeah,
it's so outdated now that I can't really upgrade it. So it would have to be a scratch complete build. And then when I looked into like getting at least, see, this is the thing that annoyed me with PC gaming, is I would be annoyed if I can't have the best.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't have a mid-range PC because it will annoy me. So I was like, right, well, if I'm getting one of them top tier bastards, you're looking about $2,000 easy, a bit more maybe.
Yep.
So between 2 and 3, something like that. I was like, well, I don't get to game as much as I used to these days, and when I do, I want to play it and get on. So these convenience of these consoles are where it's at. So once this news broke, I think that was sort of the tipping point for me, and I decided to embark on a journey to try and pre-orders.
Yes, you had to navigate the muddy waters of all access and other bits and pieces, which we will get to.
But yeah, so that was just such big news, and I'm still baffled. I'm still intrigued as to what they're going to do. What does this mean for Bethesda? Like they've explained that they're going to carry on as an independent company. You know, like they'll obviously still be owned.
My arse.
Yeah.
Phil's going to get his fucking hands all over that.
There'll be fucking Halo, Fallout 4.
Mate, I want Halo and Doomslayer to go at it. I want Master Chief versus Doomslayer. I reckon Doomslayer will fucking carve him in half.
That's it. That'd be brilliant. But there's so many interesting little sub-genres of this, though, to think of. Like, to think that now PlayStation's 2 timed exclusives, Xbox will now be taking a cut of their sales.
Yeah.
So they're like, right. And like big old Phil Spencer's whole big thing leading up to this has always been like, that's it, we don't believe in that there's a race, we don't think there's a console war, you know, we're not doing this about this. And then it's literally the day before pre-order, he goes, want something to fucking buy this for, shall we? We'll show you. And they just buy out Bethesda.
Yeah.
Does that mean that nothing will come to PlayStation years down the line?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's
a burning question.
Here's some of the games that they're likely that will fall under this portfolio. So we've got the Dishonored series that might have run its course. We don't know whether Arcane are going to go back to that. We've got Dishonored, Wolfenstein, obviously the Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, the upcoming Starfield, The Evil Within, and Prey. So, I mean, you've got quite a few studios there. You've obviously got id Software, Tango Gameworks, Arcane have got a couple there as well. I think there's one other maybe blundered in there, but they're sort of the highlight ones on there. Now, the big two, you know, I'd say big main franchises out of those, that sort of 6 or 7, and the ones that sell the most typically, or historically I should say, have been Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
Yeah.
Ironically, most of the other games that are listed there all reviewed really well. Just for some reason, the sales were not up to much. But Elder Scrolls, and especially Skyrim, has broke through into mainstream, and Fallout's done a very similar job. Like, we mentioned about the exclusivity. Now, if I'm running Xbox, and if I'm Phil Spender, I ain't letting nothing go anywhere for a considerable amount of time. I go, you can have your Deathloop. We'll see that. We'll honour that. We'll see that through.
Tokyo.
But once we get our Tokyo Ghostwire. Once we get our mitts onto new agreements, you ain't having none of that other stuff. I'm going to lock it down.
Starfield, that could be a game changer, couldn't it? A lot of hype's going into that. If he just goes, nope, play Xbox exclusive, there's going to be a lot of people that are going, fucking hell.
Yeah. Well, that's the game you got to play sometimes.
That's the thing. If you're spending 7 million, why would you? Billion. Sorry, 7 billion.
It's more than fucking Disney.
Jesus Christ!
Almost double, not quite, but
that is insane. Why would you? If you're spending that money, why would you just go? Yeah, chuck it on the our main competitors' platform. Why not?
I think at a minimum, I would be going, look, there's going to be a timed exclusivity to this, and then eventually maybe put it out. But we don't know. We don't know what they're going to do. Whether they're going to.
He said on some interview, didn't he, that each game will be looked at in a case by case scenario.
Yeah.
Where his words. So
if you
what does that mean?
You look purely at the bottom line. You probably would make more money if you just let it go on PlayStation, because
and
you're taking a tidy cut of that. But there is something to do with like building up your brand of like Xbox only games. If you can get Fallout and Elder Scrolls and Starfield on there, then and that's the only place to get them is PC or Xbox. That's a huge long-term sort of shift in how people perceive the Xbox as a brand. Yeah,
I see that a thing was mentioning about the Nintendo partnership as well, sort of where they've got quite a few Bethesda games on the Switch.
Yeah.
And how Xbox have started to, now there's like the Will of the Wisps and Cuphead and stuff like that. So there's room. I can see them maybe keeping that partnership with Nintendo, because they don't really see him as a competitor as such. Certainly up there, but not their main. Definitely PlayStation. But yeah,
what if Phil Spender goes over to Jim Ryan and says, "Look, I know you're pissed off at this. I've pulled the rug out from under your feet. You were snoozing, I caught you napping. I've got Bethesda now. So now I know you want Elder Scrolls and you want Fallout and you probably want Starfield, even though we ain't fucking seen anything of it yet.
It's just a title.
I'll tell you what I'll do for you, Jim. I'll let you have those titles if you want." And Jim goes, "Oh, thanks, mate. You're such a good guy, Phil." He goes, "Yeah, I keep telling people I'm a nice guy. I'm not here to fuck people over. One condition." And he goes, "I'm listening. You put Game Pass on that fucking PlayStation store and I'll take a cut of that." Jim Ryan slams the door in his face and walks off.
That would be interesting.
Well, they could propose something like that.
Yeah, definitely. There's been the rumour, isn't it, that Game Pass could be coming to other mediums. Certainly to Switch is one I saw, but that would be an interesting proposition.
They are in a position
and
of
one
power,
that Jim Ryan. There's also the talk of Retaliation buying.
Yes, I was going to get into this, but who do you think?
Who is the next big one?
What was that? Sorry.
WB.
Oh yeah, because they were up for fucking tender almost, like seemed a few weeks ago, and there was rumours flying around that Microsoft were going to go and do that, but that never materialised into anything.
And then the big one that the rumours were, which I thought was going to be their next purchase, was Sega. I think there was talks of by them. So if PlayStation just go, fuck it, we'll just have that, and we'll show you. It becomes this fucking war of attrition. Who can buy the most huge studios?
There'll be no third parties left, which I don't think is a good thing. Long term, but we'll see where it goes. If you were Big Phil, what would you be doing with those exclusives? Is there games like the next Dishonored game or the next Wolfenstein game that haven't sold typically that well, but have reviewed well, that you say we're only going to put them on Xbox, or would you say all or nothing? We either put everything everywhere, or we put none of it and keep it.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. See, I think with games like that, the good thing is they're going to stick them all on onto Game Pass, aren't they? The old,
we as the consumer are laughing in a way.
Laughing,
if you're
exactly.
PC only, you're fucking laughing because you're watching these two
Yeah.
squabble and you're taking tidy profits each time Microsoft make a big play like this.
And PlayStation are tending to stick a few of their exclusives onto PC as well, so you are incredibly laughing being a master race. Literally nothing. It's just all coming to you for nothing. So yeah, I don't know. I think if I spent 7-something billion, I'd just go, fuck it, no one else is having any of it. It's mine. And that really does win the war, because I think, certainly in the build up to this, it's that the general consensus has been that PlayStation has all like wiped the floor of them already, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Any poll I see, it's always I'm getting a PlayStation, not an Xbox.
Yeah.
So something like this could turn the tide, but I think they do need to be ruthless with it, or have their arse slapped. But they're really trying to break the Japanese market as well, aren't they? Xbox.
Yeah.
Just had a Tokyo Game Show I saw, and they were trying to make a partnership with Nier Automata, a new game that's coming out.
And that's where something like a Sega would be useful.
Yeah.
Because you get those Yakuza games, which they have got deals in place, especially for like a Dragon. You get the old Persona games along with that.
Yeah.
Obviously, a Japanese company, so you make headways there. So that does fit nicely. I think another one that I dream for just getting, at least the IPs getting taken off them, is Konami. Just so that they don't just fucking pachinko the shit out of everything and blow Metal Gear Solid into the ground.
Yeah, they're not really a games company anymore. But I don't know. I think in terms of like the next Elder Scrolls and possibly like even the next Fallout, such a big fan base. I think they're games to sell consoles. I don't think there's too many people buying a console for the new Dishonored or Evil Within, even though they're good games.
No,
but
fair.
I think Elder Scrolls, maybe even the hype of this Starfield, like I say, even though we don't know fuck all about it, but certainly the Elder Scrolls and Fallout, I think they are console sellers, so exclusivity deals for that are a must, I'd say, but depends. Phil's a nice man.
He does seem like a nice bloke. He's obviously got a lot of collateral. Microsoft are a huge company. I mean, this is where it shows, isn't it? Like in the dwarf of like who's backing PlayStation. It's Sony, who massive company, but Microsoft are something else when it comes to being able to just bankrolls a purchase of this magnitude, and it's just another
city.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see any? Because one of the things that's constantly pointed out, and it's ironic, because all the other studios that aren't Bethesda Softworks, so like the Wolfensteins, the Dishonoured, the Dooms, the Preys, that sort of, they're all critically acclaimed, and they're polished, they run well, they're bug free for the most part. Whereas the two marquee titles that everyone loves are also the buggiest of the lot in Skyrim and Fallout and Elder Scrolls games of the past. They've always been pigs to run, and I mean, you've had some bad experiences. I have as well, and I've loved the games. But do you think having Microsoft now just feel looking over their shoulder a little bit, looking at Todd going, what you're doing is just keeping an eye. Are they going to be making sure that that Starfield, for example, which is going to be their next big project, is going to come out in a state where people are like, wow, that's a massive improvement compared to even Fallout 4?
We're saying this is such a good thing for Microsoft to be owning this company. I think it's such a good thing for Bethesda to be under this umbrella, this almost essentially unlimited amount of money that it can
resources
access to resources that they didn't have before. So it is certainly going to be interesting. And you're right, those two are the filthiest, buggiest games. So they ain't going to. So Phil will pop in the day before release and go, is that ready?
Yeah.
We've already had backlash from our fucking number one title in Halo. Look what we've done. We've cut that straight off the first trailer. So we're happy to delay shit here. So yeah, I think it's just an all-round great deal, apart not for PlayStation really, unless Jim can get on his knees and beg to
borrow and steal. The only thing I would say about the bug squashing and things is that that should be the case, like with a bit more resourcing and whatnot, and with a bit more of an oversight, hopefully Microsoft might be able to do that. But I look at two games that I was looking forward to this generation. One was Crackdown 3. Now,
Yeah,
that weren't much good oversight as far as I'm concerned. That weren't the best game. And what's that fucking zombie game called?
Oh, State of Decay.
State of Decay 2. Dreadful when it come out. Like, woeful shit. And arguably, I'm not saying it's buggy, but a Sea of Thieves that came out and wasn't filled with content and then built over the year, but they ain't got a good track record, in all honesty, at producing the compelling titles on day one that people expect. So maybe we are expecting too much.
And that's an exclusive thing, you know, when you're comparing that to the likes of God of War and Spider-Man and Last of Us and Uncharted, and you're getting them as your competitors, that's where you're like, right, fuck this, they can have their exclusives, we'll buy our exclusives.
Yeah.
Rockstar, that'll be the next one, imagine that.
Yeah. Take Two to get with that.
Yeah, we'll have that.
There was a rumour about a year ago that Sony were in talks to. It turned to be bollocks, but they were in the talks to buy Take Two, which would have been huge.
Cool.
I don't think. I mean, it would have been like. I think like Bethesda's a huge deal because of like historically they're good games and the big titles like Skyrim just being the absolute trendsetter that it was. But other than like Bethesda, I think you could argue that maybe if Ubisoft was bought out or EA and maybe Take Two, but you know, other than that, this is like huge, and I wonder whether it would have happened if Fallout 76 wasn't such a fucking shit disaster. Like, did that put the Zenimax wealthy fucking people think, right, I need to get out of this game now because that ain't worked out, and they're telling me Starfield's 5 years away. We ain't got a pot to piss in here.
It's got to be with who did Thing do some interviews recently or not long ago? Old Danny Dwyer.
Oh yeah,
he did a lot of Zenimax thing. It'd be interesting to rewatch them and see some of the head staff in tatters going, oh, thank God we're getting out of this fucking mess. It is interesting to think. It's obviously nothing that's been done overnight, so this has been in the pipeline for a while.
Yes.
Surprised it wasn't leaked. I never heard.
I was thinking that actually, it was a complete and utter like out of left field shock. Like I didn't.
Wasn't it?
And we're getting fucking trailers of Hogwarts but leaking 2 years from even being revealed, and yet a massive multi-billion-dollar purchase of a private company by a huge conglomerate in Microsoft, and there's not a fucking whisper on the Twitter fucking verse.
That is insane, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
You think of it, just the magnitude of it as well. Fucking
Ubisoft are the king of leakers, so if they're ever getting bought out, trust me, we'll fucking know about it. I can tell you that much for free. Some cunt will leave his laptop on the train.
Some of these leaks are on purpose just to build hype. You know, you think of some
test waters.
Yeah. They've got it in the pipeline. They think, oh, we'll leak it, see what the reaction is, and then we'll make an assumption based on what the reaction is.
Maybe Microsoft should have done that with Halo Infinite. Just let it go out, and they saw the negative go, cool, don't put that on the fucking showcase. People are you doing here? Well, it's going to be interesting. I mean, the first game going up onto Game Pass is Doom Eternal, which I have literally just finished playing today. Excellent game. So those who are taking titles of Game Pass, if you haven't played that, that's a great title to have. I think there's some DLC planned as well. Not too far away. I imagine that will come.
Do you think this is part of the deal, or is this? Do you think this is they've got it in the door now and they're going right, or do you think this was already coming anyway?
I think at this point that sort of change is like it's wooden money at that point. Like it's just money going back into themselves. So it's just like they just do it. Like
I noticed Dishonored 2 is one I still haven't played actually. I've got it on PlayStation 4.
Cool. Support's been pulled.
Yeah, that's what I thought. See, I wonder. Yeah, they obviously won't sell the games. I don't know. Maybe they might.
I think anything that's out there now is just going to be rolling until get this way. You won't get a Doom and Doom Eternal package on PS4, but the current games will just remain in the storefront. I don't think they'll pull them all off because it's just that's money for old rope, isn't it? Then people PlayStation picking up those.
Yeah, if you go on the Game Pass app as well, it says that Dishonored 2 is leaving Game Pass as of this week, I think, because I was like, did want to start, and I was like, that'll be back.
Yeah, that will be. Yeah, that will certainly be back. That's for sure.
Things like Evil Within 2 and stuff is brilliant because I haven't played that yet.
Yeah.
Prey.
You played the first Evil Within?
Yes, I did. Yes, played that on the Master Race.
Nice.
Shit the life out of me. That did.
Did it run all right on that? Because sometimes
it did actually. Yeah. The only thing it did is it had them black bars that you couldn't get rid of.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. And then I think they did later patch or give you the option to.
Yeah.
So to give it more cinematic review, but annoyed the shit out of me. But yeah, it ran pretty well, I think. It looked pretty good. I quite like that game, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed both of those. I think, actually, Evil Within 2 is a much better game, in all honesty. So that's one to play if you're into your horror, that's for sure. Wow. Phil Spender, indeed. Bethesda in the bag.
Big thing, as well, not for me, I never played it, but the fact that Microsoft now own Bethesda and Obsidian.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, New Vegas 2, anyone?
Yeah. Well, didn't they have a falling out with Bethesda because there was over New Vegas?
Yeah.
That's why they ended up splitting off. But
well, they've done that Outer Worlds.
There'll be some awkward conversations with those guys.
Well, who's that really good fucking game director that the one that done like Doom and that? I forget his name, but he had like some fucking
Cormac.
What's his name?
John Carmack.
That's it. Yes, that's him. Yes, he's got some like legal suit or something going on.
He left. Didn't he leave Zenimax and then went to Facebook to do some VR stuff or the Oculus. Yeah, so the Oculus VR stuff.
It.
And Zenimax claimed he'd done a load of the drawings or whatever fucking at Zenimax. They technically own it. I don't know what happened with that actually, but
yeah, there's some like lawsuit we could do. Well, apparently this changes. I know they were talking on some pod I was listening to, and they were saying like that'd be interesting to see if he can come back now because he had like loads of he had loads of projects that he couldn't get finalised or whatever. People seem to think he's a big noise, but.
Well, he was on Joe Rogan podcast once. Worth tracking that down, having a chat with him. Oh, you don't have a chat with him, but tracking down that chat because I don't think he's declined the invite to come on here and chat about this. So
no chance. So get with that social monkey instead.
That's it. Get him on that. Well, the purchase of Bethesda definitely made waves, and I was pretty convinced I was going to be getting, the Series X as well, and this just kind of sealed the deal. I was like, I actually want to just have one now. Now, ironically, it doesn't change anything come November 10th or whatever the release date is because there's no games that look like they're close to being finished that are going to land on the console. But having said that, the future does look bright for the Green Bloods, and it seemed like it gave you a bit of an injection of green blood because we went out and pre-ordered one of these Xbox Series X's. I was looking to do the all-access jobby, but the game website...
Two. If anyone wants one.
Yeah. The game website was like a queuing system, and it was only Game and Smyths, or Smiths in it, but what to call them Smyths, that were doing the all access kind of like pay for 2 years. I think it's 30 something, or 20 quid.
$29.99.
That's it. And that's what I'd ideally wanted to do, but at the same time, because the Smythe site was dead from 9 o'clock onwards.
Literally just imploded. It just went, nope.
Yeah, that just didn't even get off the ground. Game kind of tricked people by putting them in a queue for 45 minutes, then melting. Yeah. And whilst I was in the queue, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to scour the other retailers and just, if I need to, I'll pay it in full, and I'll do it that way. And ended up getting one on Amazon. And in hindsight, it kind of works out cheaper for me because I've been one of those people that's been hunting around for Game Pass deals. So I get 3 months at a time that are like a cut price, even like 40% off. So the fact that I'm not paying for 2 years full whack for the Game Pass means in the long term I'll actually save money. But it'll just be a bit painful come November when both those consoles get dispatched and that money comes flying out of the account. But so I gave up. Once I got that, I was like, you know what, the game site's melted. I ain't interested in this. But you basically put your sword in the sand and said, look, I want it on all access, and I'll be waiting and trying to get it on all access. How did that work out for you in the end? Because I know people had all sorts of problems with the all access, and some ended up getting a credit agreement sent to them, but then no stock, so they're sort of stuck in limbo. Some got both, some got nothing. How did you end up in the end?
Absolutely fucking disastrous. I didn't on day, well, I say day one. On the day one of pre-orders, I did not get an all access deal.
No.
So my day started off 6 a.m. Got up early, ready at 8 o'clock. Had all the fucking sites up ready. I got to I thought this is going to be a free for all after the thing one. So I thought I'm going to just whatever I can get, I'll get.
Right.
I'd ideally want all access, so that'd be my first port of call. I went for Smyths. I think I quite like because I still got my fucking PS5 as picking it up from the store. This one I've gone for a delivery, so
Yes.
I thought fuck it, doesn't matter. I'll just get it from wherever and send it to me. So I had Game and Smiths up, and then I think I had Amazon and Shop 2 as well.
I didn't like Shop 2 because they done a weird thing where it was like pre-order,
you registered your register, and then you sort of like save, and then you have to confirm it.
That's it, and you never. It kind of said doesn't guarantee you'll get it on the day, and I was like, well, hang on, where am I in this fucking queue? So I didn't like those guys. So I just stayed away from Shop 2 after that. I was like, I'd like normally for games like they'd bang on for that.
Probably chuck it a week early as well. They will get it with the Americans.
Yeah, exactly.
So done that. The two big boys, like you say, went down. Yeah. So I sat in a queue for an hour with Game. Smiths, just like I say, just didn't get going. So all it said was register interest.
Yeah.
As this sat in a queue for an hour, looking around, thinking, do I really want this all access? Watched Amazon come and go, saw it available, gone. That was literally within about 20 minutes, I think.
Little quick story on that. The little Amazon. What happened is I was sitting here doing the refreshing jobby, waiting for all access and trying to do that, and then I needed a crap. Like I got suddenly early morning, I was like, oh god, I need to go to the toilet. So quickly got on the phone. I was like, this needs to be quick because this Xbox is flying off the shelf. I thought, whilst I'm on here, I'll try my luck on the Amazon app that I've got on my phone.
Really?
Straight in on that. One was there. Add to cart. Confirm order. Robert's your father's brother. So 2 in 1. I was well happy.
Yeah. Fucking incredible. And that's pretty much what happened to me. Apart from I wasn't having a shit. So was going for them. Long short, that everything went, and then I was stuck in this one with Game. Got to the end of the hour queue, put your details in, done.
Was this in the morning or was this in the afternoon?
This was in the morning. So this was about, what time was it? 8 o'clock. So this was about 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
An hour after it had gone live at 8, was in this queue. The hour went, boom, got to the end. Sites just said, it was a spinning wheel saying site maintenance.
Yeah.
I was like, for fuck's sake, I've just sat in the queue, that's it. And that was it. I thought, that's it, that's the dream over. I'm not getting an Xbox One on day one.
No Elder Scrolls.
So, shit myself. I was like, fuck's sake. I was like, all right, well, I've never bought a console on day one anyway, apart from the Switch.
Yeah.
So we'll just roll with it. And then I think, it worked for most of the day. And then I think you text me saying Smiths has gone back up or something, or Game's back up. Go.
Yeah.
So I went on to Game, see that they had one. That just all of a sudden their sites had got sorted. I think they were tweeting throughout the day, weren't they, saying that they're trying to get this sorted.
That's it, yeah.
But they said that we can sell Xboxes, but we can't do the all access because their site wasn't working or something.
Yeah.
So I bought an Xbox. So I got one from Game, full price.
Right.
So bought that. Except for they made
a delivery.
10 a delivery, which I then went, right, we'll sort that out. Emailed them and went, no, that's not what we're doing. So you've got to pay that. Fucking hell. I've still got this one. Then a second after I bought it, or no, not to say that's a couple of minutes after I bought that on thing, I was like, yep, got one, brilliant. I then had an email from or Smiths, or a message from Smiths saying all access available right now.
Yeah.
So I went, right, well, I'll get 2 then, and then I can cancel one. So I went through the whole all access thing. Did all the credit agreement, the credit check, and that. Went all through my information.
Surprised you passed it.
Yeah, so am I. Clean as a whistle, mate. All through the rigmarole. Took about 10 minutes to go through it, I think. Clicking all the little options and wanting to know fucking how many bollocks I've got, how many fucking nipples. And then got to the end and it said out of stock. And I get an email through saying, "Yep, your direct debit's been set up." I was like, "Right, what is going on here?" So I thought, "Oh fuck it. Well, at least I've got this one from games. I've got a console. I hope."
Yeah.
And that was it. That was day one. Then I went to bed. Woke up the next day and had an email from Smiths saying, "Sorry about what happened yesterday."
Sorry, mate.
We was a bit drunk. I said, "Let's see if we can find the email." It was them apologising, saying, "Sorry about what happened."
Back on that the week.
It was a Tuesday. Smiths. Here we go.
I just want to be popular as the new game retailers. Love me. Pathetic Smiths.
Pathetic. It was. Thomas. There it is. I can't see it. Anyway, it's basically them saying, "Sorry, you couldn't get through. It was our website being a shit.
Yeah.
Here's a special code that you could use."
Right.
That will it's basically, I don't know what did they used to do a all access system on the old consoles?
Yeah, so they had it on the Xbox, I think One X and Xbox One S at some point, but it was later on in their life cycle, so it wasn't like day one peak fucking interest. It was like, oh, a year later, if you still haven't got one, how about you try this?
Right, I see. So basically, what they've done is they set it up so I'm like pretending to upgrade my all access account.
Right.
So for people that have got that one, if they've got a one that's paying off at like an Xbox One X, you can upgrade it to appear to the new Series X.
Yeah. And
it continues. So basically, they said, "Oh, if we send you this serial code that you use, and then you can do it from there, and we'll put you buy an Xbox for day one and do that."
Yep.
I was like, "Oh, well, yeah." I thought, "Oh, fuck it. Well, I would rather the all access thing because, well, I suppose it's just not so much coming out in one big whack, which I'll probably regret." And I just thought, "Oh, fuck it. Yeah, it'd just be easier for me."
You won't get your fucking bollocks cut off by the missus either.
Yeah, that's it for saying, "Yeah, I've just spent £900 on 2 consoles." So now I've got £900 on consoles and £30 a month coming out. So I'm the best of both worlds. But yeah, so I'll be cancel. Well, I tried to fucking cancel me game one, and they said no, basically.
Oh.
And what they said, I said, I went back and I said, yeah, a message sent up a thing and said, "Look, I'd like to cancel this. I've done it as a guest because I couldn't log in because it was put in a queue just to log in. So I had to buy it as a thing." So I said, "Here's my order number. Can I cancel this pre-order?"
Yeah.
And they text back and said, "Hi, Thomas. Thanks for getting in touch. As a result of unprecedented demand for consoles, we have to carefully check each order, and as it's one per customer, we hope you understand. We also understand, due to the high volume of orders that some of our valued customers seem to have some issues with checkout, and we're working hard in the background to resolve this." I was like, right. You've not listened to what I've said here,
It's an automated response, that is.
No, I just messaged back and said, "No, that doesn't help. I want to cancel my pre-order. I had to order as a guest as I couldn't log in, so I can't do it myself. You need to do that. Kind regards." So now they're going to say, "Oh, you're a fucking show. You can have 2.
Yeah. It's weird because I've done the same for my PlayStation 5. And within an hour, I got a message back saying that's cancelled.
Really?
So they did it very quickly. So I think just in the initial fallout
I think
of
it's
it.
that day.
Yeah.
I think it's because they were dealing with all the shit, and their website was still down at the time, I think. So I'll do another one, but I just wanted to make double sure. So yeah, it took 2 days to get an all access. But I got to say, there was points where I thought I ain't getting one.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like such a free for all. It's sort of a bit like a sort of Black Friday, open your doors and everyone runs through.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that was always going to be one of the conundrums with announcing it up front. A quick shout out. Although I'd already got the console, I'd signed up for email notifications or register your interest on Simply Games, Simply Lovely,
yeah.
And twice throughout the day they sent me an email saying our stock has gone live now. And twice I went on that link, and lo and behold, I could buy a console there, and they were all bundles. So that's the only negative, was that they were trying to dissuade scalpers by putting bundles and whatnot in. I couldn't find one with Valhalla. That's what I was looking for, and I was like, that's unfortunate. But what I liked about what they did is that because I'd registered my interest, rather than just like open it up to the gaggle, they cleverly, like, you couldn't search for the console and get to that page without the link.
Right. So that's clever.
Because I was searching for it on their site when I saw the email, and I was like, I can't fucking get in it. And then I went in the email, clicked the link, and I checked the URL, and it was just slightly different. And I was like, that's actually quite a good way of doing it, because at least those that have registered interest get a bit of a head start. And it's not just kind of out there. And they sold out in 8 minutes, so there weren't much chance for people there. But I just wanted to give little Simply Games a little shout out.
That's good. Yeah, I think there's been a second wave. I think I got a couple of emails.
Said second wave again. He's scaring people.
Oh God, he's scaring. The lockdown. A second allocation from, I think, Smith's Endgame, both emails saying that they did. I think that was Friday. I think that was, or Saturday. Yeah. One of them. So there's definitely, still got a chance, possibly, but you really have got to be on top of the ball. And like I said, there definitely are scalpers out there, aren't there? Like, I think you said, didn't you? It's like as soon as we realised that we weren't, or I hadn't got one, you put one of like on eBay that was straight on there for about 750 quid.
Yeah, there's people taking the piss as usual.
So I am half considering sticking that game one on there, to be honest. Markup and join the old scalpers, because
get that PC sorted.
Yeah, then I might be able to if I sell all my PS4 Pro, my Xbox One X, and my PS Series X pre-order. Then I'm halfway there.
Exactly. What do you think them doing? Because it seemed like most of the problems stemmed from All Access. Like, the two sites that were offering it, the sites crashed for most of the day. People that were trying to get one had problems. Keith McWomble from the Pixel Pints podcast, he had a fucking nightmare. He had the same as you, got the direct debit through, but no console. And I don't know if that's been resolved yet, even to this day. I think you should.
I'm worried what's going to be turning up on the door, and how many direct debits have I sent?
It's an Xbox Series S, just what you wanted. No. But
no. Did I go for one of them? I know you said he was interested.
Oh, yeah, he got one. Yeah, he got one.
Oh, did he?
He popped on, and they were still in stock at the end of the day, to be fair.
I was going to say, a lot of them, fucking trying to get rid of them.
Yeah. I can hear that dog being naughty, but we'll barrel on. But was it a mistake doing, like, because there's already like peak interest, because it's day one pre-orders, and then you add this other layer of like infrastructure and credit checks and other bullshit just to the process. And it just feels like this is something that could have been done next year for people that had waited.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Like, it's a cool thing to have, because, like I say, I think for someone like me, well, it didn't need to be I had the money, mate. I'm flash airy. No, I did have the money, but I thought, fuck it, I'll go for this thing. And it's a good option, but like I say, it does just fuck up this day. And I've been just thinking about, I don't really know what they can do. No. A queuing system maybe is probably the only like you get a code and sit in a queue or something like that.
If you're insistent on doing All Access, is how I'd do it. I'd say, right, you click through and order the console as you normally would. Like, you just go in, put it in your basket, confirm it. At that point, you have to put a card detail in, like the one that you're going to have, you're going to pay it on. And then that confirms your order. Then, because they don't charge any of this stuff until it's dispatched.
Not until it's dispatched.
Then you get an email saying, okay, you've ordered it through Game. We're offering, you can pay it in full on the card you've nominated or change the details, or you can now sign up for All Access and do it that way. And then by that point, you take all the rush out of like getting it done day one, the second, before they all fucking disappear, and it gives people a chance to sort of mull it over and think, oh, actually, I'll do the All Access thing as it goes, and let people do it that way. That's how I'd do it.
No, mate, you're right, because even in the store, as Smiths were saying, we're doing consoles. We've got a few consoles in store, but we can't do the All Access in store because the website's down.
Yeah.
So there's people queuing up outside going, fucking hell.
Yeah. I mean, it was nightmare.
It was a chance. Like, it was crazy because like there was such a backlash of The PlayStation just chucking it out. Maybe they knew this was going to happen. They were like, "Look, if we just chuck it out now, anyway, it's going to be as bad as it is." And then even Xbox took a pop at that, and I think they tweeted like saying, "Don't worry, we've got a pre-order time and date."
Yeah.
And then, you ask anyone, and it just like, especially in the States, I think most of the sites went down.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, like, whose approach was better, because they both have their advantages and disadvantages, and it seems like whatever happens, it's going to be a complete fucking shambles and chaos. There's no way of really countering against that.
No, well, for me, I like the PlayStation one because it literally just got chucked out, and I went, "Oh, it's live. There you go, one, no problem at all."
And no £10 delivery added on. Then
exactly, no £10. So it was a smooth transaction for me. But like we said last week, if I'd have gone to sleep then and woke up at 11 o'clock the next day, I'd have been fucking fuming. So it swings and roundabouts, but. Yeah, I think they're both, I suppose PlayStation done it right. I suppose giving you a fair chance, and everyone's going to go live at 8 o'clock. But they just someone needs like the infrastructure to deal with it. And it's a lot of people saying like a lot of it was bots and scalpers and all that, which I'm sure it does happen. I know, but I don't get how you can police that.
No, I mean this is other than the Switch, same as you, never had or tried to get a console on release day, and to be honest, this might be the last time I'll fucking bother after all this. I was like, a week of like stress it felt like just to
trying to get it done. And I see once I got it, like people were saying, "Oh fucking hell, you're getting both." And I was like, I don't really need both. It's just I just get caught up in the moment, and I just love having new tech. So I was just like, I want to get it. Then once I've actually got it, I'm like, well, what am I going to buy on it? I was supposed to buy Creed. There we go. That'll do me for a couple of months.
That's it.
So
I need to find somewhere to put these bastards.
That's a good point.
But it's an interesting couple of weeks with all that kicking off, and it's done now. We're all geared up now, ready for next gen. I thought just to end the show, we'll just spend a few moments talking about our plans until next gen, because we've got just over about 6 weeks or so, and I think we're both doing a very similar method in that I'm literally just, it's finished now, it's done it, it's taken 2 hours, but I've just reinitialized or initialized whatever the setting is on the PS4. I've just done that to the PS4, so it's been clean wiped, deleted everything off it, so that's ready to be boxed up and sold. The Xbox Series X, that's been boxed up, and that's going to be sent off to Adcock Enterprises to be got rid of on the black market. And my idea is that now I'll get rid of the consoles. It'll be the first time that I won't have any of those two for donkey's years now, and it'll just be me with this little Master Race and the Switch. And might be giving me some opportunities to play some of those games. I am considering buying a PC of sorts, and that's ongoing discussions in my mind. But other than that, it's going to be PC and Switch until they come out. But it sounds like you're going to do a similar method.
Yeah, I think so.
Drop it all.
I think we've discussed off here that I've always kept my consoles. I've never sold one. I do quite like the idea of doing that. But a lot of the reason was because I buy a majority of my games. I'd say probably 80-20, I reckon, in favour of physical.
Yeah.
So I have all the games, and I quite like keeping the console, so I can then go back and play them like years down the line. And another reason why I kept the console is because the following console was never backwards compatible. So when I had my PS3, I bought the PS4, and I thought, well, if the PS4 plays PS3 games, then I'll just get rid of the console and I'll play the PS3 games. But alas, it was never backwards compat, so I didn't. And now this one, now they're saying that the PS5 is 99% backwards compat.
Yeah.
So I think, interesting. And then obviously the Series X has been confirmed. Everything will work day one. So I think, well, I fucking hate this PlayStation 4 Pro with with all of my soul.
Because of the noise.
Because of the noise. That's the only reason. I quite like the UI. It looks a bit like a fucking George Foreman grill, but it's a weird looking console. But it puts me off playing games on it because of how loud it is.
Yeah.
So I'll be happy to see the back. Certainly wouldn't, if I do keep it, it'll just go up in the loft and never return.
If that fucking PS5, being the size it is not silent,
yeah,
I'll be writing to Cerny and saying, what have you built here, mate? You've built this fucking giant bastard, and I can still hear it like a fucking jet engine go.
Yeah. I think they're like, if you just, anyone on games, just talk about how loud the PS5 is. So there will be absolute backlash, and I hope they're looking at it. I mean, the whole fucking thing's got a vent going through the front of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think hopefully, fingers crossed, people are starting to get their review units at the minute.
I saw, so in the next week or so, we might be seeing some hands-on with some of this stuff.
Yeah, so
should be exciting.
We'll get headlines: the fucking leaf blower 2.0. Like, fuck's sake.
Serious question: if it was a leaf blower, would that at all affect you? Maybe not bidding it, but like playing it as much.
Certainly, I think certainly. I will literally only play exclusives on it, and then depending on the Series X, what's that like? Because the One X, I think, is a fantastic console.
Yeah,
and that thing can be having the fucking most like playing fucking Far Cry at native 4K.
Yeah,
and that thing don't even make a peep.
No, it doesn't.
It's tiny, slender, lovely looking console, and it's silent. It just hasn't got the fucking good games on it. But yeah, so that will put me off, I think, again, if they do that. It not as much as to literally cancel it, because I want to play God of War 2. I want to play fucking Speddens.
Yeah.
But it will fuck me off, and I will not buy a single third-party game on it if it is a fucking leaf blower, so they'll lose me there. Right. So that is my thing. So I'm thinking I might sell them. It could do with the money, it's nice rather than sitting. I've got the boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just such an aggro selling shit. I don't know where your best bet is.
No, it's either Facebook with the COVID cretins, or it's the eBay where you've got all sorts going on. It's not ideal either way. And especially at this time where the new consoles have been announced and released.
That's it, the money's going.
Not worth as much, but
no.
So what are you going to be? So you're going to be going PC and maybe Switch. I mean, you just got off Edith Finch, or what remains of Edith Finch. So hopefully you haven't got to restart that game when you go back to it. Because I assured you there's checkpoints, but I'm pretty sure there is.
I do hope so. Well, it's not a long game anyway, but so I've realised I've got quite a lot of sort of games that I've not touched on PC. Yeah. My little potato still does. I can still get Ultra on 1080p, so that's my little 1080p machine. So I'll be kicking it old school. I'll be playing my 720p Switch and my 1080p PC for the next 6 weeks until the big boys come. I just want to know what these. I've got these little array of games here. I don't know what I'm going to do with them.
So, what are you sort of earmarked? Then are you going to play? Obviously, Edith Finch is there. Is there any consideration to perhaps buying, I don't know, the All Stars collection from Super Mario 3D?
Yeah, like that. There's games like Final Fantasy
Remastered just come out.
Yeah, Mafia, yeah. To be honest, I literally started yesterday, Mafia 3.
I caught you. I saw the trophies, mate. I was disappointed after the warning I gave you not to do it. But
I'm like a pig.
Does it still?
Yeah, still. It's dreadful. I was like, oh, God, it's definitely sub 30.
Yeah.
It's got to be like 20 at the tops.
Damn.
So, yeah, and then I've got Avengers here. So, I don't know, but I would like to sell these both and then wait.
Yeah,
because a lot of these games have all been confirmed as getting up to 99%. I wonder what that 1% is.
Fall Guys. Absolute trip over merch. No, I don't know. I reckon they just do it to cover themselves, so that they, in case there is a game they can't get to work. I mean, they should all work really, but you never know.
A lot of them will probably be like the licensing ones. So like Mafia 1 was off of everything, like the original, for a long time, because they had the license problems with the songs that are on the radio. Why don't you just cut the songs out? Just go,
cut that. Yeah, I should do really. I think I'm going to get into some. I think I'm going to start Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
Remastered. Get through the campaign on that, and then go on to Red Alert Remastered. I want to give Crusader Kings 3 a try. We've been playing on Tuesdays, so me, Sir Dave, Webmaster Chappers, Paper, and Hall been playing Heroes of the Storm on Tuesdays.
Yes.
So MOBA life, given that I've never played a MOBA. I don't think those guys. Maybe Dave had dabbled before because he's dabbled with everything. So we're playing that. So yeah, and I might get 3D All Stars. I'm not sure yet. That seems like I need to actually play it though. 'Cause I've got so much stuff on that Switch that I bought and I ain't fucking touched. So I need to be sitting there. I know it's only on sale till March as well, which is lots of time. But my assumption is it will never go on sale between now and March. There's no point me waiting, hoping for a sale. And like if I've got 6 weeks, that feels like enough time to get stuck into that. Yeah, that's the idea. Bit of PC, bit of Switch, and then we'll see when these consoles roll around.
That was 6 weeks, is it? November 10th.
I may be making that up, but it ain't far away, is it?
I'll give it to you right now. Where is it? 10th. What day is it? It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
Tuesday. So we have got, what are we today? 27th, is it? So this Tuesday, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
There you go.
6 of your English weeks.
There you go. Which are different to other weeks, I'll have you know. I was asking why I meant to say that. But
when's the clock go back as well? We're going to add a fucking hour to this fucking misery that is 2020.
Yeah, it'll be sometime in October. The only thing about that is not so much that I like the clocks going back because you get an extra hour in bed, but it'll be that fucking puppy. He won't know the clocks have gone back. He'll be up.
My fucking time. And when's my dinner? It's an hour late.
It's all he's going to be having to get used to that, but that's the only thing about that. Right.
Hold on. Is Valhalla day one?
Day one on Xbox Series X.
Cool. Oh, they bought it early, didn't they?
Launch title.
That was it. And then we got Cyberpunk and Spider-Man coming out the same
fucked,
day.
In it, November.
That is, and there's Watch Dogs is fucking 2 weeks before that. I probably won't get that just yet, but
I'm going to try to just buy only what I'm going to play at the time.
Yeah,
we know how it goes.
Probably got 4 fucking games coming. We've got 3 Cyberpunk, Spider-Man, fucking God knows, God 4 will be in there. Loot a slasher. Some little fucking gem will come out or something, and it'll be like the real true experience of PS4 and 5.
That's exactly what's required.
So 6 long weeks do we wait. Biff's still struggling.
Yeah, he's not. He was asking, scrapping around for a PlayStation Classic the other day, and I told him, I said, Adcock's got one, and he said, I only met him a handful of times in real life, but he's like, I didn't want to seem desperate, but now I've publicly said it on the podcast. So how much more desperate can you get, Biff? Looking for a PlayStation Classic to borrow, he said. If anyone can help him out, get in contact with us at Idle Game Chat on Twitter. And thanks. Actually, a quick mention: the Indian influence on this podcast is growing week by week. So here's a little stat for you before we end this episode. You've got to bear in mind here that we didn't get a lot of listeners anyway, so any increase is easily to be noticed. But last 28 days, I think we've been on just shy of 28 days, probably like 20 days, maybe 21 days on the in the Indian market. Listenership has gone up 479%. So they are loving it, and I'm assuming at some point they'll all get fed up and realise that we don't know what we're talking about like everyone else does. But for those that do stick around, we thank you, and shout out to our Indian fan base. Get in touch. Anyway, right, we'll call it. We will talk about games soon. Promise. Unless something crazy happens in the next 7 days, you'll be hearing about some games, some impressions. All right. So sit tight, and we'll get that over to you. But nothing more for us to say here other than thanks for your time, and ta-da.
This was a Dimp Digital production.